Happy Vlogtober! It's October 1st and I am in my bedroom. Last week my parents were here and so I was working in my bedroom and I just haven't felt like moving my setup. Oh, it's not that complicated. I just have an extra monitor and, you know, the cords and stuff. But I haven't felt like moving it. I've kind of enjoyed working in this comfy chair. This is the chair. I've had this for several years, but when I lived in Dayton, sometimes I would work from home and I would sit in this chair. Hi, Astrid. Astrid definitely seems to like me working in this room more. She takes naps on my lap a bit more when I'm here than in the craft room office. And they're so bad at stepping on my laptop. Yeah, you're so bad at stepping on my laptop. And because I've moved her, she's not gonna want to stay. Yeah, she's not in the mood for staying right now. Look how pretty you are. Oh, so pretty. She doesn't really look like a kitten anymore, does she? Yeah. Oh, are you purring? No, she's not. You're not purring. Oh, just my baby girlie. Oh, your ears are cold. Oh, your ears are cold. She's like, quit bothering me. Her tail is tapping on my leg. Quit bothering me. Here, you can go on the window. Edifix is here too. Hi, baby. So it is Tuesday, a little after 9. Yes. And I've got a full day of work ahead of me, but I also need to take a shower. Hair's looking a little bit draggled. My goal for this month is to be very mindful of time that I spend working. I very often will work till like 5, and my hours are technically a 7.5 hour day. And so then I don't eat lunch. So I end up working 9 hours, and there's so much to do and you're never going to have it all done. And so I feel justified doing that, but I'm not going to do it this month because it's putting me in a bad mood. Yeah. My little man. So I'm going to be done between 3:30 and 4 today. And I know, baby, but you guys are annoying me. You're getting in all my makeup. This desk that I'm using is my makeup desk, and so they bother all of my makeup. Oh, you guys are so cute. So cute. I should go for a run. I should be going for a run today, but I just haven't had a desire to work out at all, which isn't great, but it is where we are. And my attire is, this is a very stretchy jumpsuit. I liked it when I bought it, and then when I put it on today, I wonder if it's shrank or if I'm just not into it. It's shorter than I would like, and it's not as wide as I would like. And yeah, so tried to spruce it up, also make it more work appropriate with my Halloween shirt. And I bought this shirt at Meijer last year. I think I spent less than $2 on it, and I love it. I love it so much. I love repeated small items when the pattern is a pretty long pattern and it's not like you can see, here's the pumpkin and the pumpkin's down here. Yeah, big fan of this shirt. So I need to get back to working. And anything, so my goals for this month, other than like work related goals and just not working more hours than I am contractually obligated to work, I would like to read all the books and watch a bunch of movies. So tonight's movie, I haven't fully decided on tonight's movie, but I need to finish Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, the third one. So, but I don't think I can really watch that on a weekday because that movie is like 4 hours long, and I would have to start it pretty much right when I finish work. I mean, I guess I could start at like 6 and be done at 10. So in theory I could. And then I want to watch all the Harry Potter movies, and I would like to watch the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I watched the first one recently-ish, but I'd like to start the whole thing. Or I could watch, actually I might watch a Studio Ghibli movie that I haven't seen before. That actually might be the movie that we watch. And then as for books that I would like to read this month, it's extremely excessive, but I could do it if I don't do a lot of knitting. So TJ Klune came out with Somewhere Beyond the Sea, which is the second book in the Cerulean House on the Cerulean Sea. I think the House on the Cerulean Sea only took me like 2 days to read, so I feel like the same thing would happen with this book. I'm very excited to read this. And it just came out, and I kind of want to read it sooner rather than later. Then at the beginning of the year in March, my friends and I, we did like a reading retreat, which was so much fun. And the book that I received was House of Hollow, and it looks kind of spooky-ish. Strange children. The children, they disappeared on a Scottish city street, only to return a month later with no memory. And now they have black eyes, their hair is white, and they're just kind of weird, and then one of the siblings goes missing again. And so I thought that I would read this book. And how many pages is this? 292. Again, I feel like I could read this in like 2 days. I'm currently reading this book, City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is my first book by Adrian, and he writes sci-fi and fantasy. This is one of his newest fantasy books, and the third one in the series comes out this year in December. I think they've been coming out every year in December. Yeah, so this is 2022, the last one was 2023, and then this third one comes out 2024. I couldn't tell if it's a trilogy and it's ending. It didn't say, but then it also didn't have on Goodreads placeholders for the next edition, which normally it will. So it might just be a trilogy, which would kind of be nice, because then you know, if I read this one in October, read the second one in November, and then I could get to the third one in December or January, because I think it's towards the end. This is a quite interesting book. I picked it up, to be completely honest, because of the cover. I'm a sucker for a very detailed cover. And when I look at it, it looks kind of industrial, like urban fantasy. It is kind of hard to get into. So it's pretty much like the city has been taken over by Palestine. It's the Palestine occupation. And yeah, I know I'm doing a terrible job describing, but I'm having, like, I don't even really understand what's going on. The main character, I think his name is Yasnik, and he like sees God, and he said it's like he's the only believer in God, and God is like this figment that follows him around and is quite rude and petulant. And I know that's commentary, but I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm only on page 12. It is pretty dense. So I'm a little concerned that this book I will not finish in October. I'll definitely have to either dedicate or just like read a bit of this and read something else, because I don't want to get sucked into feeling the need to have to read this book and then not wanting to read. So this is another book that I'm currently reading. Then I have The Nightingale's Castle. This is about Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess. I'm pretty sure this is the one that she like had this torture chamber in her castle and murdered a bunch of people. I'm pretty sure that's this woman. So it's quite short. I saw it in the news section and I thought this would be actually pretty good to read for Halloween as well. Kind of horror-y. This is also under 300 pages. A bit dense, but I feel like this could be really fun. I also have Murder and Masquerade. This is book 2 to the Lady of Letters mystery. I started this 3 years ago. I really enjoyed it. This is definitely a book that would take me 2 days to read. I think it's also under 300. Oh, it's 320 pages. So that would be pretty quick. I know, right? It's a lot of books. And then Phantom Felonies. I read the first book in this series, A Haunted Mansion Mystery. I gave it 3 stars, but I continued to think about it. So I did want to continue on. This is about our main character, Avery. I'm sorry, the cats are knocking my makeup over. Our main character, Avery, and she sees a ghost in this hotel that she's working for. And it's like a cozy murder mystery. And again, another Halloween read. And then I have 3 they are just 3 what are these called? Graphic novels. This one is a horror graphic novel. It's about like a murder, a hide and seek, but if you get found, you are murdered, I'm pretty sure. Perfect for Halloween. This one's definitely going to take me more than a day. This one is Shoebake Lubake. I'll have to look up how to pronounce that. This is a a fantasy graphic novel set in Cairo. It's pretty big. This will take me a couple days. And then lastly, not as fun. Well, I guess the first one was murder, and this one, I'm not sure. This one is Kent State. I saw it and I just thought, I want to read this. Probably the most famous photo. I am seeing that they removed the pole that sticks out of her head. Oh my gosh. So those are the books I would like to read. Also, I have another one, if it's still on my Kindle, the latest Sylvia Moreno Garcia book. So those are the books I would like to read. We'll see if and my Hocus Pocus graphic novel. I also want to read that one. So that is a lot of books for the month of October, right? But I'm feeling very inspired. So I hopefully get a lot of that done. Coupled with my movies that I want to watch, I don't want to leave the house. I don't really want to do anything. Okay, I need to get back to work. See you later. That one did it. It's a familiar angle, me in my kitchen. I am gonna make my oats overnight. Not sponsored. I have a couple flavors left, and I think I'm gonna go with dark chocolate sea salt. I'm not feeling well, guys. In my last podcast that I just posted, I mentioned that my allergies were doing pretty bad. I don't think it was allergies. I am not feeling well. I am getting a sore throat and I'm still kind of sneezing. I have to go into the office tomorrow. We have a large team meeting. So there's been rumors about going back into the office, and today at
2, we got an email about it, and my email was very vague compared to what some of my other coworkers got in other departments. Theirs was very much, you have to come into the office 2 days a week. And mine says, your guidance is you come into the office for large team meetings and meetings with partners who are in the office. The team that I work with now, so my partner, or who I would work with when doing something, is my direct team. And then a team out of Iowa. So I don't think I'm going into the office. It's weird. I don't know. I do come into the office for large team meetings, and then we do a lunch. And then anytime I kind of feel like it, to be honest, a lot of times it's coupled with if I have to go downtown for something. Ma'am, Astrid. Oh, she's driving me nuts. So if I have to go downtown, then I'll go into the office. But if I don't feel well, I shouldn't go into the office. But then this is like the time to showcase that you're in the office. You know what I mean? We've got some coworkers who only show up for large meetings like this where leadership, not our direct report, but higher up sees. So then it gives the impression, you know what I mean. So yeah, I kind of should have known this was happening, me not feeling well, because yesterday I stopped work at 3:30 and I stayed in bed and I took a nap with the kittens. So yeah, it's 7 o'clock, 7:17. Like I said, I'm gonna do this and then I'm going to watch a movie in bed and read. And I really don't feel like knitting. I don't love knitting in my bed. So I think I'm gonna work on my cross stitch in bed. And I gotta decide on my movie. I'm thinking a short movie. Okay, where's my cup? So for Oats Overnight, which is it's a brand, you can buy so I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this because it's milk plus cold oats and never been my thing. So I bought, there's 3 flavors that you can buy at Kroger and Target just to sample, and I liked them. So I went ahead and did the subscription. So basically what you do is, when you get the subscription, you get this for free. So even if you just do the subscription one time, like it's worth it just to get this thing for free, because otherwise this is $10. This is from the Blender Ball company. So I guess if you have one of those, you probably don't need this. It's got a fill line, but if you don't have a fill line, you're doing 8 ounces. I don't drink cow milk. Not because I'm allergic, but it makes me want to throw up. There's something about it. I don't know why. I will never drink milk. Just took me a while to actually get to milkshakes. And honestly, this was a bit, so I use oat milk, which come to find out is the least healthy of the non-dairy milks, which is such a bummer because this is the one I like the most. I've done soy milk, almond milk, oat milk, coconut milk. I don't like coconut milk because everything tastes like coconut at that point. No matter what I do, it's got coconut in it. So we fill it up to the 8, and I tend to do it just below the 8 because I like it to be just a bit thicker. There you go. And now that I do these oats overnight, every other day, every 2 nights, I'm going through oat milk like crazy. So when my mom visited, we went to Costco and I got a big old pack of oat milk. Open it, dump it. Oh, this one was good. I remember really liking this one. So the dark chocolate sea salt has 10 grams of protein. It's non-GMO, it's gluten and dairy free. It has, so basically 15% of your protein, 10% of your potassium, 30% of your iron, 240 calories. Eat a fix. Down, down, sir, down. Thank you, good boy. Our counter manners are driving me crazy. So then you put it in and then you shake it. And you wanna make, it's so cute. They kind of like stick their heads up and put their little paws up and they're like, hello, I'm here. Here, I'll show you. He moved as soon as I went to show you. So now that it's mixed up all the way, make sure there's none on the bottom, you just stick it in the fridge and you just eat it in the morning. There it goes. Yeah, I'm feeling tired. This is not good for me. This is not good. I'm feeling the onset of like the flu, which is bullshit because I got the shots. Oh well. All right, time to go to bed. Yesterday was not great. Today is a bit better, but my voice is pretty fried. It's 5 o'clock and I have friends coming over. They are flying out of Columbus. They are from Dayton. And so asked if they could stay here to make it easier to travel. And I'm like, of course, that is the benefit of having friends. My hair is getting so long. So with that, I need to tidy up the apartment a little, and I haven't put the air mattress away. So I'm just gonna blow that up, and the linens that my parents brought, I'm just gonna use again. So I'm just gonna make the bed. And they haven't left yet, so it's a little after 5. They're probably not gonna leave until like 5:36, which means they're not gonna get here until 7:30. And we're iffy on if we're gonna go out to eat. I have no food, so I would like to go out to eat, but. My tip for a warmer air mattress is to put a fleece blanket and sleep on top of the fleece blanket. I'd planned to do recaps on the movies that I had watched. But since I've been sick, it's kind of been It's Friday. My voice is feeling a bit better after being on the phone for an hour with a coworker. It is 11 o'clock. My hair looks pretty disgusting, so I'm gonna take a shower now that I've put in a couple hours of work after I finish a presentation that I need to fill out the PowerPoint for. So, yeah, I need to take a shower, finish today's work, and see what the rest of the day is in store. I did call the vet because Edifix is not super healthy. Like, he appears healthy, but his stool has been loose for as long as I've had him, and so we've done 4 stool samples. So like, it's not like we're ignoring it. Like, everything comes up clean. So I don't know if I have to bring him into the vet today. I hope not. Like, I've only had them for not even 2 months, and I think I've taken him to the vet 4 times. Like, I'm kind of sick of going to the vet, to be honest. But that's, that's life with having little kitties. Speaking of which, this is Mr. Sicky Man. So yeah, movies. So I watched Corpse Bride last night, which is such a creepy movie. Have watched this before. And then I watched Clueless for the first time. That was the movie before that. And I'd never seen Clueless before. It was okay. It was good. Not something I need to watch again, but I think it's kind of like a product of its time, and in the sense of, like, I love Mean Girls. I will watch Mean Girls over and over and over. And I read somewhere that, like, Clueless is the Mean Girls for kids growing up in the 90s, whereas I grew up in, like, the 2000s. I was born in the 90s, so I feel like the 2000s was more of my decade. So I love Mean Girls. So I'm thinking tonight I'm gonna watch Heathers at the recommendation of one of my coworkers. He's been saying I should watch Heathers, and he said now would be a good time because I have watched Clueless and obviously Mean Girls, and he said it fits into that type of movie. So I think I'll do that. I really should go for a run. I have not gone for a run in a while, and I have my marathon in less than 20 days. So it's a little stressful, but we'll see. It's Friday. I worked a bit later today because I just needed to get some stuff done, but I talked to the vet. I need to go to the store and buy Mucinex? No, Metamucil. Hi, baby. And start putting that into Edifix's food to see if that will help. So, yep, I'm gonna go to the store later today, either today or tomorrow. But I do have a bit of a headache. I still am not, like, fully well, which sucks. Tomorrow I'm going to a crew game, and I'm kind of, like,
do I go? Like, I want to go, but I don't want to get people sick. And I have tickets. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow, but I'm gonna get a good session of reading in because I'm thinking to not do some screens for right now because of my headache. I haven't got much farther in this book. I'm on page 35 out of 500. Yeah, just about 500. And then this, I'm on page 66. So this is reading way faster. So I think I'm gonna read like one chapter of this and then just continue with this book so that I can feel accomplished with my reading. This book, I literally still don't know what's going on. Every chapter you get introduced to new characters and their names are so like crazy, like fantasy names are. And one of the characters we were introduced to was like this evil guy high up in the government, and he went to this either town or building called the Anchorage, and there's like this forest outside of it, and the forest like takes you somewhere, but you need to go with these guides, and these guides only come through a certain time. I don't know, they don't really explain that. And then through the woods there are these like creatures that will kill you, which is why you need the guides. And the guides take you through the forest, I think, but then you need these wards to counteract the evil monsters. And the main guy had a ward, but apparently it fails. And then in the next chapter you realize that a thief stole it and switched out his ward. So that's the chapter I just read. Still really not sure what's going on. And then in this one, Phantoms and Felonies, the murder just happened. So Avery is a manager of this like old historic home that has this like women's society. And the women's society, they're forever not having enough money. And so they're putting on this murder mystery dinner. And what do you know? Instead of the murder being not real, the murder is real. And so yeah, just happened. And then I went to sleep. I'm off to the crew game. I feel so much better, like miles better. I'm leaving a little bit later than I planned, but only like 10 minutes later, which still gets me there before the game starts, but I'm hungies.